Yes, people, we are live for our recap of one championships weekend fight card. Obviously, it was one fight night 37 and one Friday fights 132. Before I break it down, before I recap of what we witnessed, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. It was a madness. Upset of the weekend, Roman Kryklia loses to Samet Agdeve. Nico Carrillo, statement win in the featherweight division Muay Thai. What can I say? Abdallah Ondash winning $9,000 contract, making both Ondash brothers contacted fighters now in one championship. So without further ado, boys, ladies, let's get straight into it. We will start with Fight Night 37, where we saw Roman Kryklia lose, guys. We saw Roman Kryklia look human. And I think largely, not just to myself, I think largely we were all quite surprised by this result, to be quite honest. You're live, get involved in the comments. I'm sure everybody has some stuff to say about this fight, God. So don't be afraid to get involved in the comments. But yeah, what can I say? This fight pretty much got me by surprise in terms of the result. I definitely thought Roman Kryklia was going to be able to get the job done by using the superior skill and the experience and the range. But I think Samet took this as an opportunity of a lifetime situation and sort of just fought his heart out. If you think about it, I mean, let me just make sure. Yeah, are coming in clearly. Samet pretty much fought his heart out. If you think about it. Now, I want to highlight a couple of things that he did really well. Firstly, congratulations to him. He's fully deserved it. I thought that you could make a strong argument for a possible 4-1, but I think 3-2 was the correct decision. I think straight from the beginning, Samet attacked the calves nice and early, and that showed me he's got a good fight IQ. I thought when I looked at these fights for 2025, I was thinking, okay, he primarily is a boxer, and he's got some sharp hands, and he likes to get aggressive and stay on the front foot with the boxing. But when I saw the calf kicks, and some of the kicks to the body, he attempted some of the high kicks as well, although it didn't really land, but they were there and forced Kryklia to block them. I think the overall performance was brave. It was confident from Samet. I think he went in there and he stuck to the game plan. He knew that Kryklia fights long and rangy, but I think by the sheer nature of landing those calf kicks so successfully throughout the fight, forced Roman Kryklia into a defensive positions. A lot of the time, it forced him to switch his stance and fight southpaw. And when you see that happening, you clearly know that the one fighter is on top. Samet was on top because he was forcing Roman Kryklia to adjust so many things where Samet didn't have to change much. There were moments, I would say, round 2 and round 4 is the 2 rounds, or are the 2 rounds where Samet, I wouldn't say had. Well, I don't think he had that much of a choice. Kryklia fought back so hard, it made him defensive in those 2 rounds, and he kind of gave those 2 rounds up. But that's not because he chose to. Like I said, Kryklia forced him to. Kryklia got on his bike in the second round. He got very aggressive. Forced exchanges out of Samet, forced him fighting backwards, and I think that is the championship quality of Roman Kryklia. Then obviously going into round 3, Samet fought back, started getting those calf kicks landing again, better boxing combinations. They both tagged each other nice and cleanly, but I think Samet for the most part of the fight landed a little bit more whenever they were initiated contact. In the 4th round, I think that was Roman Kryklia's best round. I think the 4th round he dominated that round. On the front foot, super aggressive. Landed a lot cleaner shots. Tagged Samet a couple of times. But Samet is durable. I must say the dude's got a good chin. He took those best shots. But then in the 5th round, I think he knew that this is what I would like for one championship to do in the future, and that is to incorporate corner cams so we can get in between the round coaching. I know it's going to be a different language, but when you've already got a translator there, you got a bunch of translators there. You know what I mean? So, what would be nice to hear what was going on in the corner of both fighters, because I mean, in the 5th round, Samet came out differently, and he came out like he had a ton of energy. It felt like he was revived and he could go another 5 rounds, and he was the one going forward. He was the one that was landing the bigger shots. Just asserting his dominance by making a statement to go, listen, this is going to be my fight, and that was a round that both fighters needed to grab, considering that it was going 2-2 into that round. I had the 2-2 going into the 5th round, and now we got a new heavyweight kickboxing champion in one championship. Look, it's the first one. I know Kryklia won the Grand Prix before this, but this is the first one officially. I know this is inaugural, but it's official champion, and I can't say that I'm super excited to see what's next. And the reason being is not because of the 2 fighters that were on display. It's got nothing to do with Roman Kryklia or Samet, but more so into the conversation of the roster. It's not really a big heavyweight division when it comes to kickboxing, right? In Muay Thai, there's like a couple of guys. It's a bit disappointing because it's like now you can't even go and look at a heavyweight ranking and go, oh yeah, there's a top 10 and all these guys can sort of, we can have a nice top 10 going on here, a nice sort of Grand Prix, or we can see the top 5 going at each other to get the number 1 slot. We don't have that, and I find that quite problematic because now it's making me sit here scratching my head going, so who's next? Are they gonna do a rematch between the two guys? You know what I mean? Does Samet go and fight for the Muay Thai strap? He's not even contracted. That's the mad thing. He wasn't even. This was a 1-fight contract deal, I think. And now that he's champion, they're gonna have to give him a 6-figure contract, right? They're gonna have to give it to him. And the question then remains: so then who next? They're probably gonna make him rematch Kryklia. It might even be a scenario of the saga between Regan Ursel and Alexis Nicola. When that happened, Alexis came into the organization, fought Regan Ursel. That was pretty much his only fights. He had 1 fight before that, and then he was gone. You know what I mean? And we stand the risk of that happening in this division, because now, Roman comes back, they fight each other. Roman loses. He decides to only defend the Muay Thai strap, and then submits on an island with no opponents. So yeah, that's why I can't really find the excitement to go. Okay, shit, I want to see this. I want to see some. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he can go on a title. Excuse me, a title defense like of note, right? But then who is he gonna fight? He's gonna fight Roman the whole time. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Give me your thoughts. If you think of or have any other opponents, because where I'm standing, I'm thinking one championship's gonna have to maybe sign more heavyweight kickboxers, from other organizations to sort of fill up this roster. Maybe even run another kickboxing heavyweight Grand Prix to, at least grab five more fighters, six more fighters, if you will, then put him into the roster so we can have this division start to grow. Because I don't think I want to see Roman Kryklia fight Samet all the time. I would like to see them fight other fighters as well. But though it was a good fight, regardless, I think it was action packed. I think it was toe to toe. Like I said, two going into the fifth round. And I think it was a good display. I think Samet at 21 years old. I mean, he could be something. He could be something big, definitely. I'm just not so sure if one is the right place right now. You know what I mean? But he's young and things could change and we don't know. But I think talent wise and the way that he fought this fight against such a dangerous opponent and actually not being backed up enough, not feeling like he was discouraged in any round, that I find extremely impressive from Samet. So I give him his flowers. Well done. Because I didn't give him a single chance to win this fight. But I'm sure one will put together a rematch here. I think they're gonna have to because the first fight was, I won't say super close. The rounds that Roman Kryklia won, which was 2 and 4, he won those rounds, but it wasn't like he didn't really put the hurt on Samet. He just did a little bit more than what he didn't do in the rounds that he lost in terms of output and taking initiative and creating moments, creating car crash moments. But he didn't pull away largely. And same with Samet. Like I would say the biggest devastating shots that he landed was the calf kicks, which forced Roman Kryklia to fight a completely different fight style. Um, yeah, let's see. They're probably gonna rematch it. Give me your thoughts, guys. I'm gonna keep it moving to the corner. This was a banger. This was an absolute banger. Nico Carrillo beat Luke Lessei, the chef featherweight Muay Thai. This was a second round TKO. I gotta say, I know a lot of people called the fight. A lot of people had Nico Carrillo in their parlays. We also had him on our parlay. So I understand that. But I also did highlight some things that I felt that Luke could have done. Or excuse me, when I did the preview, I was like, although I give Nico the win, right? There were things I felt that Luke could do or had possessed that if he did do it, to pose a lot of threats for Nico Carrillo. Then I also meant to say that, however, the power, the steam train of a fighter that Nico Carrillo is that when he gets going, it's you know what I mean. It's a very much an uphill battle. And the biggest takeaway for me that I said before the fight was, although Luke Lessei is the more experienced fighter and has more tools to win the fight, in every fight that he fought in One Championship, all the fighters were able to knock him down. And that for me was the biggest risk in this fight. And all those other fighters that knocked him down don't have the power of Nico Carrillo. Just saying. So when we got into the fight, it was more about how long it would take before Nico actually lands something big on Luke. You know what I mean? Right off the bat, I felt Luke had the right game plan. I mean, the calf kicks was perfect because Nico doesn't check any calf kicks in any of his fights, right? Calf kicks was brilliant. It was piecing up Nico's legs. You could see Nico was limping a bit with difficulty and he needed to do something about it. And he got on his bike and he did. You know what I mean? He pushed the pace even harder, and then got the knockdown in the first round. I think he had 2 knockdowns, but then he got I think it was 1. And then in the second round was a devastating knockdown with that left. And then Luke Lessei was pretty much just completely cooked. But I must say, although Nico Carrillo fought like a good fight, like he got the TKO finish, he was devastating power, aggression, lots of pace. Put Luke on the back foot from the off, even though Luke was landing so many calf kicks, right, which forced Nico to really bite down and go forward. Because if he didn't, I think he would have been chewed up. Because as the fight would have gone on, his leg would have been cooked. Luke would have gone to the body. It would have been a bit of a, not so good look for Nico Carrillo. But the thing about Luke Lessei is that when you touch him, when you land something on him, whether it's a body shot or a shot to the head, he goes down, and Nico cracked him pretty hard in the first round over the head, dropped him nicely, smooth right hand, and then in the second round, it's more of the same, massive left hook, pinched up knees, went for a right hand, dropped him. You know, at both knockdowns, Nico Carrillo actually threw a knee to a down opponent. I actually watched the tape back before doing this live, and he threw a knee to the down opponent. And I was like, but anyway, not gonna go too much. See, we got a comment here. TSPV27, what's up, homie? Hope everyone is good. Hope you're good, bruh. What are you saying? Nico looked fantastic overall. Kryklia cost me big time. Yeah, I think it costed everybody. Everyone went with Nico. Excuse me, with Roman Kryklia and kind of overlooked the young man in Samet Agdeve. But Nico Carrillo looked good overall. But I want to highlight some stuff because I think why I'm so hypercritical of Nico Carrillo, because I'm a fan. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm a fan. Even though I go on about him looking like he's juiced out of his mind, I'm a fan of the guy. I think he's a fun character. I think he poses the kind of fight style that can really like upset the apple cart around like traditional Muay Thai fighters. I like that, and he can be a good marketable character as well for the brand. However, this is the featherweight division, right? And the featherweight division is filled with a bunch of killers. Nico's one of them. Of course, he's one of them, right? But like defensively, don't know if I like that. I don't like what he did defensively. You know, he pretty much didn't block anything. He didn't check any of the low calf kicks, right? Chef didn't get to the body kicks enough, which I thought he probably would have tanked that as well. Shots to the head. There was no guard up. There was no slipping and ripping. It was more like tanking it and then just going forward. And although I think that's his weapon, he's got this big build, he's powerful, and he's you know what I mean. He's very strong, and he believes that when he lands on you, you basically cook. I just think that like the higher he's gonna climb that rankings, right? And he gets to like a Bampara, or he gets to a Shadow, or he gets to a Superbon. Dawanchai, I think he can't overly rely on that sort of tankness about him. I think they're gonna catch him. I think those guys will be able to catch him not only by just being the superior strikers, but if you think about the one loss that he had, which was against Nabil, right? Nabil, although he's so much taller, right? He still displayed the correct weapons and game plan to actually take out Carrillo, and that's attacking the base, staying active, never really giving them a chance to settle. Because Carrillo doesn't punch his way or jab his way into the void. He just walks into it. He just walks into it and starts throwing his bigger shots. And I find that can be a bit too risky when you're fighting against the likes of Tawanjai, Superbon, and those other dudes that are, let's be real, they're a lot sharper than Luke Lessei. Let's just be honest. What have we got here? TSPV. I got Black Panther pick correct, so BT65. Really lucky, let's just say that. Black Panther. Oh, yeah, you're the only one that actually called that fight in the chat, I remember. We all went with the Stupinan and then you went to the Black Panther. Funny enough, when the fight started, that's the only time I actually realized that it was bantamweight, and I was like, oh no, I don't think he's gonna win. But good call, bro. Good call. What are you saying? Maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but wasn't the Nong-O fight the same thing? Absolutely, it was. He won the fight though, Nico. But yeah, it's pretty much carbon copy of that fight. Good point. Good shout. Refresh the memory there for me. The SPV. Pretty much the same thing. But I mean, that was also bantamweight, if I'm not mistaken. So he's fighting, and look at this fight as well against Luke Lessei, right? Luke Lessei was a proper 155er, right? And he made Nico Carrillo look a little bit shorter than normal. So what I'm saying is, the competition's only gonna get harder for Nico Carrillo, and I just don't know if he can overly rely on his offense like that to win fights when because it's gonna get more skillful guys. It's gonna get tougher. Fighters are gonna be a bit more privy to his style, and I mean, all the tape is there for you guys to see. The guy just doesn't check baseline kicks. He doesn't check the calves, doesn't check the sternums, and the pressure that he puts on fighters are very frightening. But like, doesn't throw anything until he's actually right up in your face. And I just don't know if the elite fighters. I say elite. Luke is one of those guys, but I don't think the top 4, top 3 guys. I don't think they're gonna allow him that privilege to be that kind of bully. I don't think he gets there. So for me, if he can have better defense, along with that patience, dude, he will be a nightmare for a very, very long time for that featherweight division. But yeah, well done. I mean, the bonus as well. Well done to Luke. I mean to Nico Carrillo. I just want to see him get better at that defense. Then I'm for sure will bet on him every single time. But yeah, good job, good job. Let's keep it moving, chat. But oh yeah, DSP. I'm not sure if you heard anything about what I was talking about, Roman Kryklia. But what's your thoughts on what's next for that division? Because that was the first time now that they've unified or they've got an undisputed heavyweight kickboxing champion in the organization, or at least from what I can remember now. Uh, what do they do next? The division is at the moment quite sparse. It's quite empty. You know, you say rematch. I also say rematch because the fight was decent. It was fairly close actually. There was no like one-sidedness. Um, but I also think rematch. But I feel like that's like the only choice they have really because at the top of my head, I can't really think of the next heavyweight kickboxer in one championship right now that that could be the next in line. Let's say this rematch goes to a 2-0 to Samet. You know what I mean? What would happen next? Would they then go Roman quickly then goes to defend his Muay Thai strap, which is already a division that doesn't have that many fighters? Or would you sorry about that. Helicopters just flying around here. What are you saying, TSPV? They brought that Turkish guy into the fight into fighting because division is spot. Exactly. That's exactly my point. And I find that to be a problem because Samit's 21 years old, right? And the kid's quite talented, but in a division where there's not many contenders or fighters that he can go up against, that might just slow down his growth, is what I'm thinking. And it's gonna be problematic for the fans as well because then we don't get to see this division move like we were saying last week. As soon as you go past the sort of lightweight division in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and in MMA in one championship, it starts to becoming a little bit difficult for matches to actually take place. We don't have enough fighters to watch. ESPV, what are you saying? Sign someone new, have him fight and build him up while you do rematch. Well, yeah, I think firstly they would have to do the rematch just because that fight was actually quite close, and I don't think they're gonna have anyone else. And then I'm thinking, what about a Grand Prix? If you wait, if you wait hard because everyone in Glory kickboxing, and yeah, and Glory is now gonna do a cross promotion with K1 and what's it, guys? Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's so tough for them because everywhere, it's quite a big roster. Heavyweights in Glory. I was thinking, what about one championship bringing back the Grand Prix that they used to do, and then run like a 6-man tournament, and then that's immediately gonna be your top six once the tournament's over. You know what I mean? And then like fucking contact the guys. Let's actually give them something to work with. It doesn't have to be $100,000 contracts. Let's just put them on contracts. Let's just lock down your fighters and start really growing divisions properly. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to see someone like Samet go to waste. You know what I mean? And Roman Kryklia, let's be real, he's crossing over. You know what I mean? 34 years old, I think it is. 35. Like realistically, he's probably only going to give us another 3 years, 3 to 4 years. And what is that? One championship, that's like 2 fights maximum at this rate, which is not going to be good for the fighters. So I just think that maybe a Grand Prix would do well for someone like, excuse me, for that heavyweight division. Um, and maybe even cross promotions. You never know. But okay, let's keep it moving, guys. I'm gonna recap both fight cards, and I'm gonna go through one Friday fights 132 because that was an amazing fight card. I really enjoyed that one. But let's keep it moving, guys. Find my. Oh, Before I do that, actually, let me know in the chat who you guys think Nico Carrillo should fight next with that fantastic win. Because for me, that's a statement win in the featherweight division. Like he's marking his name there properly now. Taking out arguably. I know Luke wasn't ranked in the top 5, but he's in the top 10. If you look at the list of fighters, who should Nico fight next? Give me some names. Let me know, chat. I'm thinking someone like Bampara. I know he's on a loss. Shadow's got Muhammad Yunus Rabah next. So we'll see what happens there. Superbond's obviously fighting kickboxing this week. Someone just fighting next month, I think. Pardon me, but both of them have to come back into kickboxing. I mean, into Muay Thai at some point because they rank number one and the champion. So for Nico Carrillo, the only way is up really. He can't fight anyone else. Ampara Kuyate maybe, because we know with the and then and if you beat Pampara, you could go Nico Carrillo versus Superbon, and then Shadow versus Kawancha. But one's probably gonna do. They probably will make Shadow fight against Carrillo and make it number one contenders fight. Because they protect Superbon and Tawancha, these guys. They make them fight specific fights only, or at least at specific times. What are you saying? I never really rated Bampara. I rather Shadow, but he got a fight in December. Yeah. That's the thing. So we're only really gonna see movement again in that division, probably, next year, considering that entire top five are fighting from Carrillo's fight going all the way through to the end of the year. So we'll probably only see the matchmaking take place next year for that one. Bampara ain't that bad. I just think he's a little bit glossy. You know what I mean? Like, he's so fast and he's got uber attacks and stuff. But just like Luke Lessei, if you hit them, they will go down. They can't. They're not durable enough. I think Shadow with winner getting the title shot. The fight to make. If are you saying if Shadow beats Muhammad Jonas Rabah, then he gets the title shot? Is that what you're saying, DSPV? Shadow fight like once a month. Maybe we see it in January. I don't understand how he does such quick turnarounds, but also he doesn't take a lot of damage in his fights. If you're being honest, it's quite high level actually. He's super high level. Shadow's fighting against who again in December? I forgot now. No, I don't know why. Muhammad, I just said it now. He's fighting Muhammad. He's also a really, really top dude in the division. I think Muhammad Jonas Rabah is another top talent. And I see he's ranked unofficially number 10. I think they can make him a little bit higher than that. Unsubek is still in the division as well, but he has to fight a little bit more for me before he can actually get there. But I think what they will do is, because Nico is going to make a strong argument for a title shot as well, right? So what they will probably do is they'll say you just one fight away. They'll probably give him Superbon. Regardless of what Superbon does with Noiri this weekend, he's still ranked number 1 in the division. So they'll probably give him Superbon as like the final hurdle before he gets the champion. If Shadow wins in December, which I think he will. Shadow for me rightfully deserves the title shot over Nico Carrillo. He's in the division longer, on a higher win streak. So I think he deserves the title shot. And I thought he did a good job against Liu Mingyang. Anyway, I'm going to keep it moving, guys. Let's go. So this is the one DSPV got right in our chat last week. The only guy that actually got it right. But there was a mismatch. I'm going to say it now, boys. I'm going to say it now. It's a little bit of a mismatch. I only realized literally when the fight started that Estupinan actually came up in weight. That's because of the weight of the replacement fight. He was supposed to get who's Estupinan we're gonna fight? Super Black. And then that obviously that fell out. And then Black Panther comes in there, and I think they had to make the fight at bantamweight and no longer at flyweight. What have you got here, DSPV? With Black Panther, I realized Johan never fought real Thai before. It was also reported by Acton that Panther missed weight. Did Panther missed weight? Panther missed weight, but he made it second attempt. Yeah, that's what I remembered. Yeah, only reason line so wide for 24 hours notice. Okay, yeah, and the one that he didn't fight a lot of Thai fighters is very true. But I think we also really have to acknowledge the fact that the step up in weight was a big difference here, because, dude, for the duration of that 2 rounds, Estupinan looked like a child in comparison to Black Panther. And I know they're both young, right? But Black Panther's, like you could see, he's a proper 135er, a 145er. Like he's built nicely for that division. He's pretty stacked. And you could see Estupinan like barely makes that weight. Well, you probably still didn't even make the 145. He probably came in that fight. I know it says bantamweight on screen. He probably came into that fight at like 139 max. Right. And you could see because he landed some good stuff on Black Panther. There were sharp kicks that he landed, some wild exchanges where he did land some good fists when they were obviously up in big exchanges there. But it didn't do anything to Black Panther. It didn't tickle him. It just didn't have any effect on him. And Black Panther, you could see in the second round, he probably realized, you could see in the second round when he came out, he was like, okay, I got this fight. This kid can't land anything on me. That's definitive enough for me to actually go down. That he's not going to hurt me. And you could see it in the confidence in when they were getting into the exchanges because Black Panther didn't even give any consideration to when Estupinan landed back at him in those moments before he landed those knockdowns, the TKO finishes. Because I think also after that second knockdown, which was the elbow in the closing quarter, when he got in for that, when Black Panther went for that elbow, he took two heavy shots, two hooks to the head, but he still threw the elbow and dropped Estupinan. And I think that second knockdown was the actually deciding factor for me in the fight because I don't think Estupinan was cleared after that. In fact, I want to say this now, chat, since I got some good viewers in here. I'm gonna call this out now. Something I noticed over the weekend: the referees are no longer asking the fighters to put their hands up after they've made the 8 count. And for me, that's a very important thing in a fight because fighters putting up their hands is an acknowledgement to the referee that I can continue. What I've seen over the weekend, this fight card right had 9 fights and there were 8 knockouts on this fight. Right, the Friday fights card also had about 50% of the fights had knockouts there as well. None of those finishes did the referee ask the fighters to put their hands up and then wait for the acknowledgement to say, all right, continue. In my opinion, the fighter doesn't put their hands up and say, I'm ready to go. You don't restart the fight because you're basically just going to let them get punished. You know what I mean? There's going to be no defense there. You basically sending them out to the slaughter and say, listen, go get your ass beat. And although it's going to be like, it's going to always draw fans, it's going to look wild, but rules are rules, in my opinion. And those kind of things can sometimes not look good. You know what I mean? But anyway, we don't have to comment on that. I just thought that that's something I think I should share, something I actually noticed. What's up, 80? Let me give it to you right now. Oh, let's go. How you doing, bruv? How you doing? Hope everyone's doing lekker, my bro. Yeah, we're just going through some of the fights. But anyway, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Black Panther's performance. I just think that 9 times out of 10, and this fight happens, Black Panther wins just because I don't know if Estupinan can actually make the 145 limit successfully. You know what I mean? And look good at it. Maybe in a later stage in his career, but right now I think flyweight is where it's at for him. TSPV, what are you saying for me? Officiating on these prime shows have been really bad. I think due to timing in Thailand, Frost, I believe, worked every fight in the fight. Yes, he did. He did actually. And look, I can forgive him for that because I mean he actually did 2 cards that week and he did the Friday fights as well. I remember seeing him on both. But I hear what you're saying, TSPV. I also noticed that on these fight night cards, right? There's no one in the crowd. The crowds are empty. Like I said, I was rewatching the footage of some of the fights before doing this live, and I was like, yo, there's literally nobody in the crowd, guys. And it's something I noticed a while back, but I just thought, oh, it could be timing. The crowd's gonna fill up a little bit more, but it didn't. And I think because it's for the US time card or time frame, that's probably why it was so quiet, which is sad because this is their prime fight cards, you know what I mean? It should actually have a better live audience, in my opinion. ESPV this weekend could be bad for Friday fights with all the good ref judges going to Japan. Oh my word! I didn't even think of that, bro. A good point. It's a good point. Hopefully, all the fights end in KOs, so we don't have to have referees getting involved that heavily. Adrian, been AFK on holiday last 2 weeks, but looking forward to linking with the boys on the bookie beat underscore this week. Massive fights ahead. Let's fucking go. It's a big week. It's double fight week again. So let's go, guys. Let's go. Exactly why we see weight misses more on prime cards. It's the timing. Yeah, I think it has a good factor in these weight cuts for these guys. I'm not sure if you guys remembered when we had Cody Jerome on the on the podcast. He also mentioned that they make the fighters do weight cuts and hydration tests till like early hours of the morning. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. Even after the live and hydration test we get to watch, fighters still go through it even after that because they still need to make the limit. But anyway, there's a lot of things that's not right for how one championship run these cards, but that's not why we are gonna recap these fights. But hopefully they get better as they progress. I just thought it was interesting that there weren't any live audiences for the fight night card because the Friday fights card was packed. Like that live was packed. But we keep it moving, boys. Black Panther, good job. Doesn't get the bonus because of the weight. No, wait. Did he get the bonus? I don't think so. For Stupinan, it's unfortunate. Fighter pulls out, gets sick. Replacement fight, 24 hours notice. No camp, no game plan written for it. Also, a fighter that's maybe 15 pounds, maybe heavier than he is. I think he should stick to flyweight for Black Panther. Happy to see him back. A year out, and he comes back and was like, finally, I'm happy to see Black Panther back. Let's see what he can do in this bantamweight division, which is already murderous row. Let's be honest, it's already a division where as soon as you get to top 10, you're like, oh boy. You don't even have to get to top 10. Antar Kasim for me is right outside of the top 10. Even he's a freaking nightmare to fight against. But we will keep it moving, guys, to the next fight, which is Carlo Bomina. So we got a comment there. Let me just see that. I think you said there were no bonuses on this card. I think there was one bonus. I think it was Nico Carrillo. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he won. He got the bonus. If I can remember correctly. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Albek Alishov. He beat Carlo Bomina, legend of the game. I say legend, but he's not even that. He's only 31 years old, but looks like an uncle. Guy's built like a complete uncle. But still very dangerous. A dangerous uncle. And he fought a really good first round. Honestly, he fought a fantastic first round. We knew what the game plan was going to be from Albek, right? We know that he's combat sambo champion. Extremely aggressive with his wrestling. He's powerful with it. He's fast with it. And also, just like Marab, they got this pressure where they throw these fists all up in your face, and while you're trying to, mitigate these punches, they're in on your hips, single leg, take you down. There we go. Game's on. But I felt Carlo Bomina for that majority of that first round did a very good job at defending almost everything. And then even in the clinch moments, landing some good uppercuts to the body, good uppercuts to the head, and actually made Albek pay for every entry. He made sure that Albek knows that if you're gonna shoot a takedown or you're gonna try and get a clinch on me, you need to first box. You first need to fight your way in here, bro. It's not gonna be as easy as you think it is. And I thought that was a very good, impressive showing from Carlo. I just didn't think it was going to be sustainable as the fight goes on, just because he's a big dude for the bantamweight division. He does slow down, and Albek right now looks like a stud. He's undefeated. He looks fantastic. What are you saying to his PV 27? What is this? What's IRC? If Albek didn't pull the gilly, he probably wins that first round. Yeah, yeah. I get you. Yeah, the first round was relatively competitive, I guess. I'll give it that. But I think you can always feel that Albek was gonna get something out of it because the dude fights very aggressively, and he's always looking for a finish. Okay, I see if I remember correctly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, TSPV. I thought that was like a fucking jiu-jitsu tournament out there in Russia. To be honest with you. Fucking hell. You have to bear with me when it comes to acronyms and stuff. It's not how I usually communicate. Um, Very old school when it comes to that. When it comes to this, I just say the full word. So yeah, just be kind, be kind. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping me out and learning. Yeah, it's fighting with friends. Um, yeah, registered text offender. That's actually not me. That was from my girlfriend. She put that up there. So it was quite funny. No, but the DSP, like you can see what it says. It's not like it's very clear. Um, yeah, I think Albek is a good name to think about, guys, going forward in this bantamweight MMA division, where let's be real, Fabricio Andrade is desperate for opponents. I know he's got Ink Ogle in December, right? But before that, we were like, who is this guy gonna fight? You know what I mean? Who they gonna give him? And as much as I like Ink Ogle, Baturku, I don't think he's that much of a threat for Fabricio. Straight up, or me, unless in that first round, it's such a heavy grappling round that Fabricio actually doesn't have the stamina going forward into the later rounds, and he just gets like blanketed for like 3 rounds. But I think Ali Albek, I do think that this guy can be a big problem for that bantamweight division. I honestly do think he can do some big stuff there. Um, it's basically like a Marab fight style that we don't have in one championship, and it's impressive. It is. I do low key think that it's something that Albek, his style is so good that he might even tie himself out. He might even go so hard with the wrestling. He might fight someone that's gonna match him a little bit with wrestling, where he might even get tired himself because he just has one way of going. It's go 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 go. He doesn't actually slow down, and that can be a problem for him. But I'm excited to see what the future looks like for Albert. I really am excited to see him because again, I feel like he can really be a thorn in that bantamweight division. He's a fun fighter, a very very fun fighter. Let's keep it moving, guys. Oh, I don't want to talk about this one. Ugh, I don't even want to talk about this fight. I feel so gutted. Not gonna lie, this is the one fight that really I felt sad, and that's not only because it's Billy and he's from South Africa, but he fought against a fighter that I actually like pegged to be the next big thing to come in MMA. Honestly, I pegged him to be the next big thing in the coming. What's up, Place Holloway? Hey, how's it going, bro? Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Hope the weekend was fantastic. All the boys are in the chat. I think everyone in the chat here has made money on the fights this weekend. Everybody, well done, well done, well done. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for that one, boys. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I was gutted because I actually support both fighters. I like them both. I felt that Kul Mizaev is one of the guys that in due time he's gonna be the most like talked about fighter in MMA because he's so talented and just like the skill set looks like it's is unlimited in the way that he fights. You know what I mean? Because not only is he such a dangerous grappler. This is Kul Mizaev I'm talking about now. He's such a dangerous grappler, right? But he can strike and he looks comfortable when he strikes. Honestly, this kid looks amazing when he strikes, guys. Uh, what's going on, Blaze Holloway? When you're doing the 173 stream, the preview, we're doing the preview Tuesday. Same time as this one that we're doing right now. Actually, it'll be an hour later from what we're doing now. So South African time on Tuesday is 7 p.m. is when we're gonna do the live preview for 173. I think that would be what would that be for you guys? At 1 p.m. 1 p.m. for the US time zone. So 1 p.m. on Tuesday, let's all away. Yeah, I think it's 1 p.m. But that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Yeah, Kul Mizaev, guys. Top class fighter. And look, I know Billy lost, but he got a lot of respect from the fans. I saw you guys were talking about it in the chat, and I saw some good response online as well. They found what he did in that up until that submission. They found quite impressive. He made Avasbek look a little bit uncomfortable on the feet, which I thought that's where Billy might actually struggle was the boxing with Kul Mizaev because Kul Mizaev is the taller fighter. Same pace, they're both quite fast. I just felt that Avasbek dynamicness and like his not unorthodox, but like the offbeat timing strikes that he throws will make Billy struggle to find his entries, right? But Billy actually did that to Kulmizayev, and I thought that was highly impressive. He actually forced Abasbek to wrestle with him. I found that very impressive, and he was able to really counter the grappling, really like make Abasbek work for those takedowns. But then obviously Abasbek started to find the sort of the comfortability in those body locks and sort of toss Billy around, and I felt like, oh, that doesn't look good. And once he got Billy to the ground, he was in sort of half guard, I remember, and then he isolated the wrist, which was the arm he eventually grabbed for the arm bar and kind of really damaged Billy's arm. You could see Billy was holding his shoulder and his elbow, like, oh shit, that was quite painful. Even though he tapped, great display from both guys. To be quite honest, both fighters fought good for as long as it lasted. But I want to see Billy actually come back to one. I want one championship to consider the contract there, because I do believe that he could be a very great addition to that flyweight MMA division that right now, which is already looking good-ish. But I think someone like Vili, who is a champion, could really add to the sort of firepower of that division, could make it really competitive. But call me Zaev, guys. Fucking hell. His PV27 says, I thought Avazbek was going to kill this guy. Huge step up for Vili. Absolutely huge step up for Vili. But I was impressed. I hope he gets more favorable matchups next time. The real question is, I don't know if this is a contract that he's got like a number amount of fights, right? I don't know if this is a one fight deal or if he actually has a couple of more fights to come. But I do think that in terms of talent wise, dude, one should consider giving this guy the contract and let him fight, because he could, like I said, where's the one championship? Featherweight, no, flyweight MMA rankings. It's a really good division to fight in. That's Muay Thai. That's Muay Thai. That's Muay Thai. Okay, let me just grab it from here. I think he'll definitely be a good division, a good addition to the brand. So here's rankings. Let's see, flyweight. Yawakamatsu, Adrian Moraes, Danny Kinghead. Oh my word, I can never get about Zakirov. Sanzo Zakirov is another problem. And honestly, I think that's like the fighter that could pose a threat to Avazbek. Yeah. I don't know if you guys agree. But I don't think one would put them up against each other. I don't think their gyms would actually put them up against each other. I think they would rather have them both sort of, if they are going to meet, and it needs to be at the top where they fight for a title. But I think Avazbek for me is very quickly becoming, so really, in my opinion, one of the favorites to be a champion. I think he's very quickly becoming more noticeable on a global stage or scene, if you will. Great fight. I hope they bring Vali back. It'll be very nice. But let's keep it moving, boys. I'll say it again. What a weekend of fights for one championship. A ton. In fact, what a weekend of fights for combat sports, guys. I mean, the Friday fight card, I had so many finishes. This fight could have so many finishes. And even the UFC card, which I wasn't too keen to watch. But I did watch it. And dude, the whole main card had finishes on it. I was like, what? Look at this madness. When do you ever get that in the UFC? But anyway, I think overall the weekend was quite entertaining in terms of all the amazing fights that took place. But okay, Lito Adiwang beat Matsumarini from Argentina, flyweight MMA. Again, like I said, stacked division. It's a division that's got some fun fighters in there that could make some good matchups. I mean, you could even do Vili versus Mario Matsumarini that just lost now. Both of them took a loss, right? You could even put that fight together. Then Lito Adiwang deserves to fight up a little bit. He's sort of a legend for the Philippines. He's been in one championship for quite some time. He was going to fight for a title at some point. Just fell short, just outside of that. He was in the top 5. So I think Lito can definitely, fight his way up. And I also thought that the display that he put on here was really shades of the young Lito Adiwang. And he's not even that old. He's also only 31 years old. But I mean, if you guys watch Lito Adiwang, 4, 5 years ago, if you will, this dude was smoking everybody, knocking out everyone, just looking uber aggressive. Okay, it wasn't strawweight. It wasn't a division lower than this one. But coming up into flyweight, fighting an opponent who's arguably bigger than he is, and just like steamrolled him. I thought, no, Lito, that's reminded me of why I liked him earlier on as a early one championship viewer. Powhatan, let's go, bro. Anonymous Powhatan. All the boys are in the live. Let's go. Much love to you guys. Let's get some banter going about these fight cards. I was just saying, Powhatan, this is the first weekend on Fighting with Friends where all the guys in the chat made money. Let's go, bro. Um, but yeah, I can't really say much more on this one, just because yeah, Lito is like, what's next for him really is maybe taking on someone like a Danny King had, one of those guys, someone that's just like at the bottom part of the top five, someone's ranked number 5 or number 6, could be good for Lito Adiwang. But for Mario Matsumarini, at this stage, this is two fights in one championship now. Both fights didn't make weight. I find that a bit questionable. Um, so I would say let's feed him to the wolves, or you get rid of the guy. Maybe give Willie and Mario Matsurini could be a good fight. Both guys lost, and like you said, favorable matchups. I think Willie can go up against him and actually take him out. To be honest with you, so yeah, let's see what happens there. But for Lito Adiwang, great performance. I mean, like I said, what he really did in that round. It's only one round. Was be aggressive, was be confident. He had sharp hands. Let me just open up here. Like it's actually losing. He had sharp hands. He was all the time his hands were actually down, and he did this thing where he bursts. He jumps forward and then ducks under, then bang, or a hook comes up, or a left hook comes up. Um, and I'm surprised that Mario didn't actually like read any of that. You know what I mean? In fact, if you go look at if you look at the TKO finish, it's literally where Lito is way out of distance. He's far out of range. Right hands are down. He stares Mario in the eye and then just darts forward with over the leaping left hook. I'm like, dude. Anyway, it landed, KO'd him. Good finish at the end of the day. I was very impressed. Good to see him back. ESPV, what are you saying? I got to go in like 5-10 minutes, but wanted to give some early picks for 173. All right, drop it in the chat, bro. Let's go. Nadaka. You got Nadaka Yoshinari. -2. Okay, not bad. Going with Suwakim. Plus 120. And Akimoto. What? Yo, that's mad picks, DSPV. You've got Yuki Yoza as well. He's plus 116, and but I'm fanboying over Kana. But I'm a fanboy Kana. Yo, you really going with mad picks, DSPV. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That is. I mean, the Nadaka one I can understand, but what you got my mind buzzing on Suwakim and Akimoto. I'm not gonna lie. That's like making my head spin here. Yuki Yoza, so pick him, but I'd probably go with Yuki Yoza as well. Then Kana, are you really gonna go with Kana over Stamp? We got Naito won by $20. Yo, like $20. Nice. Naito was the underdog. I forgot I sent a state on him. Then one of my friends hit a big on Agdeve. Whoever bet on Agdeve, to be honest with you, oh, well done. It's well done to you. It's like picking Leicester to win the Premier League. Super League by unanimous decision, says Powhatan. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Powhatan. I don't know, hey. I'm inclined to agree with the SPV, eh? And yeah, you actually are going with Kana over Stamp. Low key. I actually agree with that bet there. I tell you why. Roman Kryklia, not making any excuses for the guy, right? But the activity was not enough. You know, Agdeve fought 5 fights in 2025 before fighting against Roman Kryklia. Although that can be taxing on one's body, right? He ended 4 of those 5 fights were in one night. And then Roman Kryklia, before this fight, he had Lyndon Knowles, right? Which was March, I think, March 2025. Yeah, it's not large inactivity, but it's like it's inactive, and that could pay a thing. Stamp hasn't fought in almost 2 years, so that could be a key factor. As I see what you're saying there. So I came -200. I thought he would be way higher. Yeah, I don't think it might be an easy fight for him though. I I never underestimate Jake Peacock. That dude is a killer. Although he's been fighting against cans, he's going up a much better opponent in Sewer Black now. I just feel that as long as his elbow is always going to be exposed, and he throws it like it's a punch, that is actually a very big thing, a big factor in a lot of his fights, because it's like a free elbow. If that makes sense. Like an elbow when we both of us have got our full limbs and we throw in elbows. This is a little bit different to hooking someone. Hooking someone and it just doesn't have the same thing. And if I'm gonna elbow, but I'm actually hooking you, it's gonna have a different trajectory. It's gonna have a different time of landing. And I noticed that every fighter against Jake Peacock, when they get hit by that elbow in that way, in that technique, they fucked. They don't come back from it. They literally just don't come back from it. It's like a bare knuckle fighting essentially. So I just worry about that when it comes to Suwakim. Otan, what are you saying? You lost all my money that night, so you said fuck it and sent the last 10 to Akta. Oh, okay, that's what he did. Right, so he got that money. That's just me. If you like Yoza, that's you. But I hate the motherfucker at the moment. He thinks he's the hot shit, disrespecting some top fighters, and to see him get flatlined. You know what? You know what, Powhatan? I think one championship needs that. They need more fighters to actually say stuff like that. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of being respectful when it comes to combat sports. I'm very much a big fan of that. But at the same time, I think the brand will attract a lot more audiences. The fighters, just even if the fighters aren't even really hating one another, but if they can add that antics in there, like I don't think Yuki Yosa hates Super League. But saying stuff like I'm gonna take the championship in 2025, I'm gonna wipe out Jonathan Agdeve, I'm gonna wipe up Super League, is a good idea. It's making us want to tune into this bullshit. So let's go. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be a difficult fight for both guys. I really do think it's gonna be a difficult fight for both guys. TSP V27, what do you got here, bro? Stamp looked terrible in Super Girl kickboxing fight, not in sport. Muay Thai, MMA, her thing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is literally gold right there. Gold right there by DSPV. It's the same thing I say about Tawan Chai as well. It's not, they just don't fight the same. The guys don't, it's like putting your striker as a defender and say, go play the whole game like that. You're just not going to look the same. You look very uncomfortable. So I get it. I get the shout. There's a lot of good points you're making at DSPV that can justify that pick. What are you saying? I got to go in a minute. Sorry for the changing subject. Have a good stream. No, all good, bro. This is why we do the lives. It's the banter, Love it. Love it. I love it. But have a good day. Have a very good day. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the live tomorrow as well. We keep this banter going. It's exciting fight week. Very exciting fight week. Yoza, the new kicking machine. You know it. Laugh out loud, just kidding. Over time, I think you and DSPV's got to do like a side bet here with each other. The winner owes each other one money on that. For that one, I love it. Just put like a $5 bet on the side on who gets the win. But okay, boys, let's keep it moving. Let's get to the next fight. Oh wow, Akrab, he took on Taiki Naito, flyweight Muay Thai. Boys, I'm gonna say this now. Taiki Naito looks good. He looks different. I must say this year, I don't think I've ever seen him look like this. I've always felt that he was an elite striker when it comes to, navigating 3 rounds in a very methodical way, selecting his shots, breaking his opponent down. Really good at that. Didn't think he had the knockout power in him. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think Naito had that one punch KO ability. But he displayed it this year. Like this year, I looked at him and I was like, he's actually sitting down his punches. And I will add this as well. His physique looks a little bit different. It's almost like there's a little bit more power to him, a little bit more mass. Not significantly, but you can see there's a bit more mass to him. And I don't know if that's adds to why he's able to put people down like this lately. I find that quite interesting. But yeah, everyone seemed to have called this one. If I'm not mistaken. I think a lot of guys said he was going to flatline Nakrab. even though Naito was the underdog. Okay, excuse me, guys. I just have to get my lights on. Um, yeah, like I was saying, Naito just looks different this year, and I can understand why he made that shout for the Takeru matchup for the 173. Obviously, they gave it to Purich, but I felt Taiki Naito probably felt he could go in there and smoke Takeru. But anyway, Naito fought a good fight, smart with the low kicks, whether it was outside or inside. He even did this thing where when he enters the pocket, he keeps his left hand up and he extends his right hand out. But then when the right hand goes out, he throws a hard low kick, chops the calf. And he was doing that all the time. It's typical Kyokushin. He does that all the time, and you could see Nakrab just didn't have a way to deal with that, and he got a little bit too aggressive, and that led to the knockdown, basically to the knockout. I think the first knockdown was a beautiful stiff left jab. You know, Naito was going backwards as well, and just threw it out there, bang, and he caught him, dropped him, and I was like, wow. And Nakrab took a little bit of a moment to come back from that one. And again, even in that knockdown, go watch it back. The referee counts him, right? He gets up before the 8-second count, but then doesn't like check him, put the gloves up, like hold his hands and shake him, like, put your hands up, get the hand. None of that, no signaling, just goes, all right, he's up, looks at Naito, fight. And you can see Nakrab was not even completely in it. He's just like, oh, okay, I gotta go. But you can see he's not completely set. He's not defensively ready. And Naito just goes in there and finishes him with a nice right hook to the ear, drops him. Beautiful finish. Very impressive stuff. And that for me asserts him in that top 5 for the flyweight Muay Thai. Well, not top 5, but like I think it was. Let me just quickly remind myself. Let me get that flyweight Muay Thai rankings. That's atomweight. That's kickboxing. That's one. Why can't I find the flyweight Muay Thai? Going now. Okay, enjoy, babes. All right, here we go. Rotang, Superlek, Nongo, Kongtorani, Jasuya. Well, Jasuya is going down in weight class. He's fighting Samet. We know that. We know that Otikov and Kulazada is higher up on the rankings now. Yo, there's also Asadullah Iman Ghazali. That's also there. So I'm thinking Taiki Naito versus what's Pautan sending me here on Instagram? Oh yeah, Poet. I saw that Pautan. I saw that. He wants 10 million baht, but he's basically talking out because he's not getting paid what he got promised. Yes, I remember. I remember that. Saw it earlier. Thoughts on what I just sent you on Instagram, Spotan. Yeah, so I think what happened there was Rateng was talking about it because I'm not sure if you saw his post that he made about that last week and the week before on Facebook. So basically, what he was talking about is the contract was obviously offered and signed, and there was a certain amount of deal, the money that was obviously agreed upon. But then the change of the card because of the 2 fights that now got moved, it also meant that his slot or this fight with him and Nong O slot also got moved on the card, lower down the card. This impacting the fighter pay, or fighter pay. That's what One Championship is saying, is that's why they can't give him the 10 million, because he's not the main event. He's not the main event of the fight card. I think if contracts are signed and numbers are agreed on, you changing those numbers is a breach of contract. So I can understand Rotang's sort of frustration and sort of unsettled feeling about One Championship, because it is a bad move. It is a bad move. You and I sign a contract, and then a couple of weeks later that changes, and now you realize, oh, you're not getting the same money that we agreed upon anymore. You're gonna ask me questions. You're gonna be like, what the fuck's going on here? You know what I mean? We signed the deal. What's happening? And I think that's why Rotang's speaking out, because to be quite frank, he's like one of the biggest stars of the brand. He's one of the biggest they've got. He pulls the biggest crowd. One Championship can't send anyone else to the US and he can pull a crowd the way he does. You know what I'm saying? They can maybe do a Christian Lee, maybe. Maybe fight in Hawaii. Not gonna happen. But like, who else can really pull the US market from one championship? Super League was there in Denver. I know the crowd went absolutely insane. But like, let's be honest, like Rotang is the one that people really want to see. The Iron Man is the guy. He really does have the sort of the charisma. Not saying the other fighters don't have the charisma, but like he's the guy. I mean, he did the super fight with Mighty Mouse. So there's like he is the dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with one championship shenanigans in this situation here. I think they should have just stuck with what the deal was in the first place. I don't know. What are your thoughts, bro? What do you guys think on that one? Basically, what Anonymous Potan is referring to, I think I can bring it up on screen quickly. Just give me a second. Basically, what he was referring to there is the Rotang sort of back and forth with one championship right now. He was very cryptic with some of his messages on Facebook about expressing his discomfort with the brand at the moment. Let's see if I can bring this on screen quickly. Pardon me. I'll come back to that, guys. Okay, so Tetsuya wrote here, the So Air Jit Myong has revealed through a live stream that Rotang's fight purse against Nongo is much lower than 10 million baht. The reason given by one is that Rotang is no longer the champion. He is not in the main event. This might be a real reason behind Rotang's recent post on social media. And I get it. Those are arguments that the company can make, right? Like, you're not the champion, right? You lost it, and you're fighting for a vacant title right now. And also, let's be real, the fight card is just so stacked right now. I mean, it's 17 fights, guys. So I can understand where money might be shifted if you think about it that way. If Rotang beats Nongo, you know what I'm saying? He can look at the 10 million baht for his next fight. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, these things are just happening. Look, he doesn't have to feel so done by it, because he's a prime fighter, and I think any fight promotion, they're gonna sign Rotang, they are gonna have to be prepared to pay a big portion of money for someone like that, because he's high level. He's like one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet Earth right now. But okay, Nakrob slowly starting to digress and become a bit of an unforgettable fighter now. People are starting to becoming a forgettable fighter. With Taiki Naito, he's reminding everybody why he's elite of the elite. I know he's not a champion, but I mean, he's fought against the best guys and really lost against them. So happy to see him get the win. I'm gonna keep it moving. See Powata, and you got something for me in the comments, bro. Let's have a look. What are you saying, bro? I don't have Facebook, so I wouldn't know about the comments he's been making. But I do agree, if the contract was signed, pay him that. He's one of the biggest Thai fighters. Yeah, hands down, hands fucking down. Like, one of the biggest dudes to come out of that region. One of the most talented fighters to watch coming out of that region. Yeah. I think you can also find it on. I don't know if you got X, Powhatan. I'm sure you're using X. Go check out Tetsuya on X. He posts quite a bit of like these things happening between the fighters and like in the and the promotion, and he highlighted those Facebook posts. So that's where I would go check it out. So it's been going on. It's been going on for quite some time now between Rotang and One Championship. So hopefully he wins the title, and it fixes itself. But he's gonna have a tough fight against Nongo. I can tell you that now. It's not gonna be fucking easy for him. It's gonna be very difficult. Okay, guys. Lastly, the last fight on this fight card before I move to the Friday fights reaction. Gilbert Nakatani beat Eko Ronnie Saputra flyweight MMA. Again, I don't think this fight was going to go any different, to be honest with you. I think Eko Ronnie was going to win every day of the week. I felt that he was more powerful. He's younger, looked bigger and stronger than Eko Ronnie. Cracked him quite early, put him on the back foot, big elbows, big knees, took him down, picked him up. Just every avenue of the fight. up here. It's getting very, very hot. I know it's gonna burn out my camera for now, but it will settle itself down. Um, yeah, no, you just bullied him every round, and it was a difficult fight for Goroni. I think you should consider retiring, in my opinion. I think the division's gonna be more difficult for him. I don't know if he gets any other wins if you consider like who's in this division. So yeah, but well done for Gilbert Nakatani. I think he can if he keeps doing this, we'll take him to a 3-fight win streak if he gets his next fight done. And I think he can be a good problem for the flyweight division, considering like there's Lito Adiwang, right? Komizai, Philip Van Rooyen, um, a really good flyweight MMA division right now. You have Wakamatsu. I don't know why they're giving him Joshua Pasha, but okay, that's fine. But yeah, well done to Gilbert Nakatani at the end of the day. I thought he fought a very good fight, guys. Um, but that's my recap for 173. Excuse me, for Fight Night 37. I'm gonna keep it moving to the next fight card that I'm gonna break down or recap. Is One Friday Fights 137, boys. That was a pretty fun fight card. Um, so let's get straight into it. I'm gonna sip some water quickly while we do that. Ooh, fight week. We also have UFC 322. What the hell? Just craziness. One Friday Fights 133, UFC 322, 173. What a fight! What a fight week we have coming up this weekend. Ah, this is gonna be so amazing. This is gonna be so amazing. People are gonna bet a lot this weekend. People are gonna win money. People are gonna lose money. Let's go. Okay. One Friday Fights 132 took place this past Friday. That was the 7th of November, I think. Amazing fights. It's a lot of fights to get through, so I'm gonna not speed run it, but I'm gonna try and be as detailed as I can. But firstly, just a shout out to Abdallah Ondash. Dude's absolutely amazing. He was chatting to me a little bit earlier on on Instagram, which I thought was really cool. Basically, just congratulated him for his performance and getting the contract, obviously. And then he was like, "Thank you so much." And I told him, "Listen, your title run starts now, bro. Your title run starts now." Him and Ramadan on Dash, they are really good young fighters. Honestly, devastating fighters to watch. I will highlight some stuff I felt that I didn't like that Abdallah was doing in the fight. But I think for the most part, he just fought a fabulous fight at the end of the day. Yo, ESR0128, are you nuts? How's it going, bro? Oh, first time at Fighting with Friends. Much love. Thank you so much for the comment. Love your work on X. Absolutely amazing. What do you got here for us? Hey, bro, can't wait for this weekend of fights. Gonna be insane. Dude, people are gonna be making money. It's gonna be celebrations. It's gonna be tears. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, I can't wait for it. We're actually doing our live preview of 173 tomorrow, which will be Tuesday at 7 p.m. South African time. So that will be 1 p.m. US time. I don't know if that's going to help you. But it'll be around this time when we go live, actually. And yeah, we're going to do it just like this. We're actually going to do a preview with the guys. And what I'm going to do is we're going to drop the link to our live in the chat. So that if you guys feel so inclined and comfortable to get onto the camera and get on the live with us, and not only in the comments, please feel free to do so. Join the banter. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because it's a lot of fights to get through. And we have to get all your opinions because you guys are super accurate with your picks. You guys are really good with how you call out these fights. So we would love to get all your opinions here on Fighting with Friends. What's up, Poetan? Making money, beers, wings, and all-nighter, guys. I will not be sleeping. Yeah, I mean, look, for you guys it'll be okay. For me, I'm gonna have to sacrifice the UFC. Just because of the starting times, right? I'm gonna have to sacrifice one of it. Because UFC will start, I think, 2 a.m. for us. And then one championship starts at 6 a.m. for us in South Africa. So, and I'm probably going to wake up at around like 5. and then go straight into a live stream. Live stream one championship, but I'll also keep UFC on in the background because I think the championship fights will be around 6 a.m. for us. Big times, big times. What are you saying, Bogota? I might sleep through half of UFC. Not gonna lie. I'd say take a nap during the prelims, bro. Ain't no shame in doing that. Plus, we can always watch the fights back. You know what I mean? You can always, if you miss it, you can always go and catch up a bit later. What's up, ESR? Definitely, bro. I like what you do. Tune in for more watch longs, but always on TV, so I can't comment. Oh, okay. I see. It's all good, dude. Love for the love, dude. The fact that you tune in and you comment and you get involved in the banter, even on X, just really like, I'm not gonna lie, it makes this so much more enjoyable for me. Honestly, I've already got this vigor to want to do live streams about watching things I really enjoy, which is the fights, right? But then when people tune in and it gets into a banter like this, it makes you feel like, oh my word, this is fucking awesome, man. It actually is a community here, and you feel sort of welcomed, you feel invited, and I feel like that's just all up to you guys. So, uh, all indicative of you guys. So just thank you so much for everybody that's tuning in. What's up, ESR? Wow, 6 a.m. is crazy, bro. Massive dedication. 7 p.m. start for me. Oh, nice. That's a very nice start time for 1 year in Thailand. Oh, you're out in Thailand. So what? It's like early hours of the morning for you now, isn't it? It should be like 12 at 12 morning, 12 a.m. for ESR right now, if I'm not mistaken. I was in Thailand for quite some time, but I've been there. My brother was there a few times as well. Nice, nice. It's dedication, but it's fun. If you enjoy watching fights, like why the fuck not? Why don't you wake up to watch it? Some people wake up to watch football that time, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to wake up that time to watch football. Place bets on rigged UFC and then take a nap and then wake up to my bet slip losing. Don't speak like that, Powatan. Don't speak like that. You gotta put the good out there, my friend. You gotta expect that you're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Just don't make shitty bets. Starting at 9 p.m. for you. Decent time for you guys. Not gonna lie. You guys should do a live stream and starting that time. Not gonna lie. But we'll be prepared. Myself and AD will be doing the lives this weekend, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be nice and prepared. But okay, let me break down some of the stuff that happened with this fight with Compet and Abdallah Ondash at one Friday fight. I'm sure you guys tuned in. It was a amazing fight. I must be honest, Compet actually put up a good fight. Like I thought he was gonna get steamrolled in the first round. I'm not gonna lie, I thought the fight style and like the way Ondash brothers the way they fight, they don't really give their opponents time to sort of settle into a rhythm. They attack you quite early, and I always felt that was gonna catch up to them. Abdallah taking his time in this fight did him favors. If you've been honest, I felt that if he was going to stay aggressive, I felt Compet was actually going to catch him with something. Because Compet's a very good counter striker, right? And also Compet's body kicks that he was throwing throughout the fight was actually problematic for Abdallah Ondash. Like he actually found it difficult to land that patented left hook of his. It's a masterful left hook, whether he goes to the body or to the head with it. It's a beautiful left hook, but it got to the point where so many body kicks were landing for Compet that Abdallah Ondash was sort of, what's the word? Not antsy. Fuck it, man. What's the word I'm looking for here? But he was sort of overzealous with that left hook. Like he was really pushing as hard as he can to get it. Like he was really trying so much, and I felt like sometimes I wish that he would just pull back and say, "Listen, let's throw some tips out of there. Let's start working our way in. Don't just throw that left hook outside in the open, because like a more polished striker in the flyweight division gives him a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a big problem. Also, another thing to remember is that Compet is actually a strawweighter. He doesn't really fight at this weight class. So it's a big step up for him as well. But anyway, Abdallah Ondash eventually you could see that he needed to do something because that body kicks were starting to add up. And in the third round, he got so aggressive with it that he really went forward. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet here. And when he did that and let that left hook land, it was a left hook of money because the first one put Compet down. He had a little bit of a difficult time with it. Got back up to his feet. And Abdallah Ondash just rushed him down. That second left hook just looked so disgusting because Compet, I think he fall. the way fighters fall sometimes, right? You ask yourself, how don't they tear any knee ligaments, right? ACLs, any of those CLs that's on your knees, because the way Compet fell, it looked like like his knee was gonna pop. Um, Devastating left hook finish from Abdallah Ondash. Deserved the contract in my opinion. It's something I was calling out for quite some time. And Ramadan Ondash got the contract a couple of months back in 2025. So good to see both brothers got the contract now. It's well deserved in my opinion. Comment from ESR028 says Compet's chin can't hold up with 4-ounce gloves. He fought last month on Channel 7 in 8 ounces or 8-ounce gloves and traditional rules. Actually fought pretty well. What weight class was that? Do you remember ESR? He fought on Channel 7 as well. Mad, eh? How these fighters. Oh, but Compet's not contracted by one championship, so he can compete in other brands as well, other promotions. And traditional rules. I wonder where I can watch Channel 7. But you live in Thailand, so you have access to it there. What are you saying here? If Compet went to RWS, you'd have a great success. You have great success over there. Why doesn't he do that then? They also pay better. They are more successful than one championship in Thailand. I would also do that if I'm from Thailand. Well, I don't know if they pay better, but based on the amount of money that RWS makes, it looks like they're more polished. I don't know. I think I also felt that Compet it looked a little bit smaller in this fight, but then I realized again, not strawweight, this was flyweight, so it makes sense. That's why I also asked you now, ESR, which weight class did you fight over there at Channel 7? Because I think that's a big factor here. Abdallah Ondash is already a big flyweight for the flyweight Muay Thai division. He's one of the tallest, or among taller fighters in that division. So yeah, I always felt he was going to be a problem. But anyway, good win, great KO. 4-ounce gloves is a massive game changer for Muay Thai. I must say, it makes fighters like Nico Carrillo become super dangerous. You know what I mean? Because of that devastating power. Like Abdallah Ondash, like Ramadan Ondash, they've also got devastating power. And the way that they strike, it's like Thai fighters don't know how to deal with that type of boxing styles or boxing techniques. But yeah, Abdallah Ondash, well done. Just well done. And I'm actually going to try and reach out to him again to see if I can get him on as an interview. I'd love to talk to him and his brother because I feel that in due time, we'll talk about them more. Yeah, I feel like we're going to talk about these guys more. I mean, the flyweight Muay Thai division just looks insane in terms of the young fighters coming up. Like, the talent pool is just so rich right now. I'm really super stoked and excited to see, the next couple of years of Muay Thai. It's just going to be so mad. But okay, chat, let's keep it moving to the co-main event. Okay, this was actually quite an explosive fight. I thought Vero was going to win the fight easily, but fuck me, dude. Lee Mingrui, what a stud. This woman has got some heavy hands, and she went toe-to-toe with Vero. What have we got here? Compet trains out at Fairtex Gym. And since Fairtex are massive sponsors of One, you will most likely only be allowed to fight in one or smaller promotions like Channel 7. Of course, Fairtex is a big sponsor of One. You're right, yeah. I mean, the gloves, the shorts, everything. And a lot of the fighters also are from Fairtex Gym. Is Fairtex the biggest gym in Thailand? Along with, what's the other one? Is it Tiger Muay Thai? Look, I don't know all the names. I try to pay attention to some of the fighters' gyms, like the Saudia Chapans, and those. Like, I think that's Malaysia, BS Muay Thai, the Eagle Muay Thai. But is Fairtex like the gym, or like they the biggest one? You saying is a lot of Taiwan fighters fight on Channel 7. Chat Payak fought last month and lost as a massive favorite to a young unknown guy. What the absolute fuck? And I like Chat Payak. I think he's a top fighter. A little bit aggressive, a little bit sort of abandons his defense and just goes forward. But fuck, man, he makes for good fights. He does have a good talent, but I see you've got some good insight on some of the other fighters, ESR. So yeah, again, thank you so much for dropping such important information. And I really chat to you a lot more on X as well, possibly Instagram, just to get some of it. 'Cause you're like a scout. You're like a football scouts. You're like a scout, bro. Like you like know a lot about the scene outside of one as well. So yeah, just big up. Gold mine right there, guys. ESR. Go check him out on X. Gold mine right there. Vero and Lee Mingrui. Again, Lee Mingrui stood up toe to toe with a absolute beast in Vero. I'm gonna say that now. Lee didn't fight scared. She, and I was saying in the preview, go take a page out of Francesco Vero's page, the way she fought Vero. She didn't give Vero any respect. It was like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna give you no respect. And that's exactly what Lee attempted. And I thought that in the first round it was split down the middle. Vero got very aggressive and very confident early and got tagged. I think she landed a very cool 1-2 piece. Dropped Lee, but then Lee dropped her. She got overzealous and got countered with the right hook and dropped her. But then obviously, but in round 2 and round 3, Vero started taking control. There was a little bit more composure. She didn't head on so aggressively. She was a bit more selective with the shots. Stayed on the front foot. And yeah, I would say she won the fight because of that. I don't think she did like overwhelmingly enough to go. She just outright won the fight. I think split decision was a correct decision, especially because both ladies got a knockdown in the earlier rounds. But yeah, great performance from Vero. Does she deserve a title shot next? I'm not so sure. Honestly, I think Francesco Vero should have been in this position right now, not Vero. But let's see. I just don't know. I'm not too excited to want to see Vero go up against like a title challenger, right? A champion right now. I think she would have to fight someone else, like someone just outside of the title contention, in my opinion. But yeah, great fight, nonetheless, and it was a good performance from both ladies. I think Liu Mingrui gained a lot of respect worldwide after performance like that. We'll keep it moving to the next one, chat. We got a comment here from ESR. What are you saying, bro? I say they're definitely the biggest commercial gym for tourists and passed by fighters. But I'd say the biggest gym in Thailand for pro fighters right now has to be the Venom gym in Pattaya or Bang Tao. The Venom gym, is that the gym where Mehdi Zatut is the head coach? I'm not sure. 'Cause I know Mehdi also has. No, it's Team Mehdi Zatut, but the gym is still Venom, right? Just, I'm not sure. Not sure. But I know Venom produces a lot of. I mean, isn't Nabil fighting out of Venom as well? Big fighters come from there. So I get what you're saying. Because there's like a lot of. I know when I started watching One Championship, I was like, why are there so many Fairtex fighters? I was like, Fairtex, is everybody coming from the same family here? What the fuck is going on? But then I realized, oh, it's the gym. It's the gym. He's saying, yeah, thanks for the shout out, bro. Much respect and love. Let's go. ESR says Vero is a beast, man. Lee wasn't backing down though. Yeah, I think Lee definitely gained my respect after that performance because I think she fought a very not I don't want to say brave, but she fought a fight of like she wasn't there to just take part. She's like, I actually want to beat Vero. I really want to actually beat her, and I think that was really impressive and it made for an extremely competitive fight between the two ladies. Absolutely. What's up, Jeff? How's it going, Jeff? Good to see you in the chat, bro. Jeff 2131 says Kryklia tossed the fight. What do we think, chat? What do we think about that? Do we think Kryklia tossed the fight? Or did he actually just lose to a young, hungry opportunist in Samet Agdeve? Give me your thoughts. I like that hot take by Jeff right there. I like that. Like, what are you saying here? They paid Kryklia to lose. Jeff, you're gonna have to justify a little bit more, my friend. You're gonna have to explain why you say this. Please let us know. Because we did cover the Kryklia fight. I'm actually recapping the one Friday fight scores right now. But dude, with a hot take like that, you have to explain yourself. You have to. ESR says Yeah, that's the one. I don't know why, but one it says Team Mechtizatut when it should be Venom training camp. Yeah, that's the thing. I was always like, it confused me. Because sometimes it says Venom and sometimes it doesn't. And then also when it says Team Mechtizatut, they're wearing a Venom shorts. And I go, I'm confused now. But anyway, so it's the same gym. Thank you for clearing that up. ESR. Much appreciated, brother. Jeff says, why wasn't Kryklia aggressive as usual? It's a good question. It's a good question. I think there's a lot of factors as to maybe why he wasn't aggressive. I would say, firstly, he didn't have a left leg. The entire first round, his left leg got chewed up, which was his front leg from his orthodox stance. So his primary stance got eliminated literally within the first round. That's one factor you could argue. Inactivity is another one you could maybe add into there. I know he fought in March 2025 as well, but there was a big gap in between that. And also the last fight before the one in March was a year before that as well. So lots of inactivity. That's 2 fights in 2 years for Kryklia. I would argue that Samet actually fought a fight that didn't allow him to be aggressive because Samet was actually the aggressive fighter. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if he threw the fight. I thought he actually really did try to fight back. I mean, he won round 2 and 4, you know, which is where he was actually aggressive. But I don't know if I can actually agree with throwing the fight. I don't know if Kikli is that kind of guy. You think he's that kind of guy? Let me know what you guys think. Jeff says, dude was on monstrous run, just to lose to a 21-year-old. Laugh out loud, dude. I'm not telling you now. I was also surprised. Now I watched some Agdeve's fights in one. I went to go watch the tape, break them all down, and I was like, I think he's gonna get smoked by Kryklia. But fuck, was I wrong? I was wrong. you know, he destroyed Azizpur and Knowles. Okay, I will give him a lot of respect for beating Azizpur. I felt like that Azizpur was actually a good contender. I gave that respect for a win. Lyndon Knowles, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that was even worth a fight. I don't even know why they gave it to Lyndon Knowles, to be honest with you. You should stick to coaching. I think if he fought Lyndon Knowles, excuse me, like maybe 4 years prior, we could see something a little bit different, but I don't count that really. But I think what we also have to do is also highlight what Agdeve actually did in that fight. Like we have to highlight that he fought a very well game planned fight. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to be overly aggressive with the boxing and get counted there, but he actually was defensively sound in every round, and he didn't allow Kryklia to sort of settle in any stance. So he forced Kryklia to actually fight in the southpaw stance, which is not his primary stance. Roman Kryklia in southpaw only really has two weapons. If you watch him fight southpaw, it's an overhand left and a left body kick. He doesn't throw a switch kick from there. He barely throws switch kicks from that stance, which is interesting because that's his strong foot in the front foot. So I don't know why he uses it like that. But again, maybe because he doesn't train southpaw that much. But we have to give respect to what Samit actually did in that fight. He really took the opportunity. You know what I mean? And that's very impressive for someone like that, or at least for the occasion. You know what I mean? Because Roman Kryklia is an absolute monster. Like you just said there, Jeff. Thank you for the comment, bro. Thank you for the banter. Let's keep it going. ESR says it may be because FedEx sponsor one and Venom sponsors RWS. FedEx might have told one they're not allowed to mention Venom. Maybe, bruh. Maybe. Look, I enjoy I really enjoy the fighters that they produce. Even the Sosumai gym is really good. They also produce phenomenal fighters out of there. I mean, Kong Torani, Prajan Chai, just to name a couple really good fighters from Sosumai. Um, isn't 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 Tawan Chai from Sosumai as well? Anyway, but really good gyms. There's some really good gyms in Thailand that are producing some good fighters. Okay, Kunpon took on Pet Nakian flyweight Muay Thai. Kunpon fought a very good fight. Actually, I thought that he was gonna win purely, and I felt sad about this fight because also like Abdallah Ondash, Pet Nakian got me in the comments. Excuse me, on Instagram. He DM'd me to say thank you for supporting and sharing all the content and doing stuff on them. And I was like, I feel so bad because I actually picked him to lose the fight. I was like, oh no. Thank you, Petnakian, but I don't know if you're gonna win this one. I don't know if you're gonna get the job done here. Though I felt that he fought okay in terms of like the aggression and like he tried to let the boxing go, and he did. He landed some big stuff, but I think Kunpon fought what I thought he was gonna do, and that was, use the reach advantage, use that kick step to stay at your range. Whether it's to the head, to the body, to the arms. You basically forced Petnakian to defend whether Petnakian was going forward or backwards. He's like, you're gonna have to defend. I'm gonna be the one that's gonna actually initiate the attacks. I'm gonna start it and I'm gonna end it. I think because Kunpon took up those moments in the fight, it meant that he was leading the dance. Whether even when he was going backwards, he had fabulous counters. And whenever Petnakian would get aggressive, want to land and chase him down, Kunpon did what I always asked high fighters to do, and that was incorporate lateral movement and don't just defend in a straight line, going backwards, extending your hands out like this. You know what I mean? I want to see them, get the guard up, parry a shot, cut an angle, reset the positions. And that's exactly what Kunpon was doing a lot in this fight. And I feel like that's actually what won him the fight because he was able to land and then stay out of the way. Land and then stay out of the way. And although he didn't get the finish, I felt that that's still a very difficult thing to do in a fight. To be able to hit someone and not stay there in long enough to be tagged by something back is a difficult skill to do. And I think Kunpon fought it really well and deserved the win. I want to see some more finishes. I want to see him show me the kill shot. If I'm not mistaken, I think he might have dropped Petnakian. I can't remember now. I didn't rewatch this fight, but yeah, I remember seeing him just for 3 rounds, really doing a fantastic job of being defensively well trained and not really get caught by anything big, and make sure that when you are in distance, you're landing and you're keeping your fighter at your range the whole time. Really good fight. That indicates to me that Kunpon is actually very well coached and well trained. Because Petnakian is not an easy fight for anybody. He's a really, really good fighter. But I also just felt that the height discrepancy was a big deal. I think Kunpon was too tall for Petnakian to even just land something on him. He had to really reach to get there, and it just was an uphill battle for him. Unlucky, really unlucky, but good performance from Kunpon. Vibrant young fighter. Very, very good. Let's keep it moving, boys. Sheesh! I don't even know. This next fight, atomweight Muay Thai, we had Yod Udon. Here we go. PS Muay Thai, as I was talking about. He took on Pet Kriang Krai from Jit Munyong Gym. We know that's the Rodtang Gym. But this was the thing about this fight. This fight highlighted to me why I feel uncomfortable when we have teenagers taking on grown ass men. Right? And yes, I know it's a fight. Anything can happen. Like these teenagers are not like fresh out of the school, although they are, but in Thailand, Muay Thai isn't just, it's not just a sport, right? I mean, it's literally a religion. It's the way of life. And Pet Kriang Krai probably, like, I'm sure ESR probably knows more about this than I do, but I'm sure Pet Kriang Krai has been competing outside of one, how long already before coming into one championship as I think he's 19 years old or something like that. But Udon, I think almost has 10 years on him. And this fight, why I'm speaking about this is because in this fight, you could see when Pet Kriang Krai, whenever he would land big stuff, whenever he lands big stuff on Yod Udon didn't even get rocked. I think he got rocked in the first round. That last 30 seconds, it was a strong left-right hook combination that really dropped Yod Udon, but it didn't make him go flat on the ground. It actually hit him against the ropes. If it was no ropes, he probably would have gotten dropped. But the ropes saved him, so it wasn't counted as a knockdown, and he actually survived it. The point I wanted to make is all those big heavy shots from Pet Kriang Krai didn't really hurt Yod Udon. And when Yod Udon cracked him with something, fucked him up. The first knockdown was massive. It was a right hook to the ear. Boop. Slipped him nicely. That was second knockdown. The first knockdown was a left hook. The third knockdown was when he basically just timed his right hand, which he actually set up early in the round. He did it earlier where he did a stutter step, he stepped backwards, and he basically forced Pet Kriang Krai to throw something, and then he countered with the right hook. He missed it the first time, but he did it again in the second time. And the second time he did it was when he actually got the knockout blow, knocking out Pet Kriang Krai, getting the KO. And I think he got the bonus as well. So, yeah, well done to Yod Udon. And again, I know he lost. This is his second win now. So he's 2-2 in one championship. But the 2 losses that they had, it was against 2 really good fighters in the atomweight division. And I think Yod Udon is one of those guys that can really assert himself in that top 10. I don't see him as a champion, but I definitely see him in the top 10 for sure. Kryklia, I'll pencil his name down. I'll put him on the list as fighters to watch, but in the background. I'll give him some time. I don't know. He's not hyped just yet, but I did see some stuff in that fight where I'm like, okay, there's something there. I'll keep an eye on you. I'll keep an eye on you. What's up, chat? Jeff, what are you saying, bro? Kryklia should go to Glory. Yeah. If he, they're probably gonna give him a rematch to Agdeve. And if he loses there again, I would say he leaves. I think even Agdeve, I'm also leaving the brand. Even though I just won the title, I'd also leave one championship because there's no division. There's no division in heavyweights. Jeff says I want to see him fight all the heavyweights. That's where you should be. That's exactly where heavyweight kickboxers should be. One heavyweight division is so dead, laugh out loud. Yeah, it's sparse, bro. There's nothing there. There's no competition. There's no fighters. Even the Muay Thai heavyweight division, there's nobody. Bro. You know what I mean? That win against Landon Knowles was Muay Thai. It wasn't even kickboxing. And actually would love to see heavyweight Muay Thai fighters. I really would love to see heavyweight Muay Thai fighters, but they just don't exist. And I just think that one is doing themselves a disservice by making this division. I really do think so. You can't have such a fantastic, talented fighter in Roman Kryklia and have him fight 2 fights in 2 years. You know what I mean? That's bad, bruh. That's really, really bad. Excuse me, chat, I'm just gonna put my light on. But I agree with you, Jeff. Though I do think that one championship should really consider doing a forgoing the heavyweight boxing division because they're gonna struggle to sign fighters for that division, especially now considering that Glory, K1, and Rise are going to do a cross promotion now. They're going to basically band together, and that means that, and they want to do it for the lower divisions. I think one championship has sort of pillaged all the, I say pillaged, but they captured all the smaller weight classes. And I think Glory Kickboxing and K1 and all these guys, they have captured all the heavier guys. I think one championship is definitely going to be on a losing side here. So I would say to save their brand, or go the heavyweight division when it comes to boxing and Muay Thai. Let them go to Glory and focus on your lightweights, your featherweights, and going downwards from there. Because even your welterweight, middleweight going upwards, it's like it doesn't exist when it comes to boxing and Muay Thai. For one, I agree with you guys. I agree with you, Jeff. Right, there we go. Let's get this lights on. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit through this one a little bit faster, boys. My light is not plugged into any power source, so I've got like 30 minutes here. Anonymous Potan. I didn't think I was gonna take this long. Potan says, "My bad, chat. I was smoking the Daily J before locking in." Okay, now do your thing, bro. Got you, my friend. I actually haven't smoked once today, but I'm gonna chow some dinner after this, and then I'll probably light up. Jeff, Samet will get one fight a year, waste of potential. Exactly. That's literally what I was talking about earlier in the stream as well when I was breaking down the fight. Let's just fix that. Looking a bit yellow on screen. Same thing that I was saying, dude. The division is not enough to have someone with this fighters with this kind of talent, like Samet and Kryklia, for example. It's not enough for them to compete. One championship also stopped doing the Grand Prix, which I thought was a very good idea to create a division, right? Run a Grand Prix, and then those guys who compete in that Grand Prix, that's your top 10 right there, bang. You know what I'm saying? But they stopped doing that, and I found that very weird. Jeff, thoughts on Black Panther versus Johan? To be honest with you, I felt it was a bit of a mismatch. At first, I was like, I think Johan F. Stupinan can really, by the creativity and the pressure and the unorthodox striking can really be a problem for him. But at the same time, when I realized the fight was a 24-hour late replacement, and it was a weight class that was 10 pounds heavier than what Esteban actually weighed in. So he fought someone that was much bigger and stronger than he was. I was like, okay, it's a mismatch. So I was a little bit gutted in that fight. Great performance from Black Panther, but I just think that you could see that he was physically more imposing than Johan. And there was moments in that fight where Johan cracked, like Johan landed some big stuff on Black Panther. The fake high kick, excuse me, the right straight high, left high kick, beautiful switch. There were moments where Black Panther walked him down and created the car crash moment, and then Johan cracked him with a two-piece, bang, and it didn't even do anything to Black Panther, bro. I didn't even rock him. It didn't affect him at all. And in fact, that was the moment where Black Panther actually landed the elbow knockdown, which was the second knockdown. So yeah, I just think it was a bit of a mismatch. What are you saying here? Black Panther versus Naito. Again, I don't know if that works. It's not the same division. Black Panther is a very big bantamweight. He's a fold out 145er. He could even do a 155er. He's a big dude. And Taiki Naito is a solid flyweight. A solid 135er. Like a solid flyweight. I just don't know if you would be keen to go fight bantamweight. He's a solid flyweight dude. That's where he sticks, That's his buzz. Jeff, the fight with Nico with Luke Lessei was fire. Yeah, that was actually for me one of the big fights of that night. With Nico Carrillo and Luke. I just think that Nico, and I'm a big fan of Nico. I really love the way that he carries himself. I like that he's this character for the brand, and I think he can be a big problem for that featherweight division. I have to call out these defenses, guys. I'm sounding a bit like a stuck record here because I spoke about it last week. I spoke about it earlier in this live as well, but I'll say it now again since we're on the topic of discussion. Nico Carrillo, I want him to be a bit more defensive. He didn't check a single calf kick in that fight. And that calf kick is what forced him to actually fight that aggressively the way he did to get that KO. Powatan says Nico defense sucks. Exactly. It's not a good thing. Although he's got this power that I think is a little bit unmatched in the division. He's fucking powerful. He's broad, right? But it is a division that he went up in weight. He's a division where the fighters he's going to fight against are going to match him in size. They're going to be equally as powerful as he is. They're going to match some of them. In fact, a lot of them are going to be taller than him as well, right? I just feel that fight style that he has, where it's this high pressure, right? But Nico doesn't jab his way into the pressure while with that pressure. When he's walking you down, he isn't jabbing, he isn't feinting, right? He's just walking you down with his hands like this. He's walking, he's pressuring you, waiting until he notices that you are basically cornered, and then he lets rip body head, like he just wants to let rip bigger shots. I don't think that style will win him a championship. In 4-ounce gloves Muay Thai, it will get him a lot of knockouts, right? But I think the high-level fighters, like, for example, your Super Bonds, your Tawan Chais, your Shadows, if you will, in this division, I feel like those fighters will piece him up. They will piece him up. They'll take advantage of the fact that he has such bad defense. And I feel like if Nico Carrillo actually develops a very good defensive game, people will struggle to beat him. Fighters will really struggle to beat Nico Carrillo. But I feel like he has to really work on that defense if he's going to want to get a championship. Yeah. But okay, boys, let's keep it moving. He took on Falakit Atomate Muay Thai and he won by a second round KO. Look, Falakit, I thought, won the first round. I thought he utilized, which I thought was going to be the key for him to win the fight. And that was volume, footwork. Volume, footwork. Jabs, 1-2, side kicks, get out of the way. Keep moving. Stand on your bike. Settle down. Throw a 3-piece combination. Get on your bike again. And that's a problem for Pitt, because Pitt is a kind of fighter like Nico Carrillo as well that's got this heavy-handedness, and they walk you down and just want to throw a hard punch into your face. However, unlike Carrillo, Pitt does throw some kicks. Carrillo doesn't really throw a lot of kicks. Pitt does throw some kicks, whether it's going to the body or going to the legs. He does throw some good kicks to set up those boxing combinations. And it's beautiful. And when he did go forward and landed those big power punches, Felt like it couldn't do anything about it. The first knockdown was a beautiful, it was a right hook. And then the finishing KO blow, oh my gosh, out of a Steven Seagal kind of stuff. What he did was, I think he threw a left straight, landed, right duck under. He threw a right hook, landed, and then when he followed through with right hook, he pulled back elbow, bang, caught Falakit on the chin, knocked him out, fight over, gets a bonus, and yeah, 19-year-old, and he's on a streak right now. I think he's got 5 finishes, 5 wins in 6 fights, 5 finishes. I think Pet's gonna be a problem for the atomweight division as well. Fun guy, and I've been talking highly of Pet for a while now, and I think he's a top fighter. And at 19 years old, and you could see he was emotional as well because his mother had passed away about a month or 2 ago, I think it was. So he spoke about this, about the fight coming into this fight. It was the first time he's fighting without having his mother there, and you could see the way he performed. There was a little bit of anxiousness in that first round, but once he got settled, the dude was just putting on some heavy hands and deserved the finish. Jeff, what do you say? I saw the fight between Nico and Nabil. He really couldn't do anything. Nabil is height bully. Now, I don't know if I can agree with the height bully, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I spoke about this earlier, and I said that if you could watch the tape of Nico Carrillo when he fought against Nabil, if you can overlook the height discrepancy and the height disadvantages to Nico in that fight, overlook that. Just look past that for a second. Just walk with me here, and you look at the style that Nabil put on him in that fight. Right, that is the style that will be a problem for Nico Carrillo the whole time because of Nico Carrillo's defenses. Right, he's very flat-footed because of his build. He's not going to bounce on his feet. He's not going to, you know what I mean? He's not that kind of guy. He's not like a butterfly sting like a bee. He's more of like a Mike Tyson. You know, I'm going to walk you down, and when I punch you, you know you're going to get punched by me. You're probably going to get KO'd immediately if I hit you. Even if it's in the body or to the head, if it lands, you're done. That's how he fights, right? And what Nabil did in that fight against Nico Carrillo was, I'm not going to give you any time to do any of that. He forced Nico to basically stay where he was. You're going to stay standing still, and you're going to take all my shots. Yes, I know the height had a big role to play in that, but still, the activity is what worked. It was throwing out shots in different angles. It was cutting angles. It was staying on his bike, attacking the legs, chop the calf, finish, hit the body with the legs, go high, stand on his bike, spinning, get out of the way. He basically just created chaos in every moment of that round, every moment of that fight. So Nico had no opportunities to settle at any point. There was nothing. He couldn't walk down. He couldn't assert any dominance. He couldn't mount any pressure because Nabil didn't give him that space or that time to do so. And I feel like that's the thing. And Luke Lessei was trying this. I'll give him that. Luke Lessei did attempt to fight with the volume, but he was also fighting defensively. He stayed on the back foot. He was calf kicking, but he was calf kicking going backwards the whole time. And you could see he was focusing a lot and trying to stay away from the power rather than actually bullying Nico back. He was more of like methodically trying to break him down. And also Luke Lessei, to be quite frank, the dude's made of glass. You know, it's not a nice thing to say, but I mean, if you watch all his fights in one championship, he always gets dropped. No matter who he's fighting, someone always drops him. And yeah, Nico was always going to KO him, in my opinion. Okay, chat, let's keep it moving. I want to go. Panoi, he took on Tanzin. Great fight actually for Tanzin. I saw some good levels up to his game. I thought that you could see in this fight that Payne some time in the gym with Superlek has shown up. Look, he lost the fight. I did think he lost the fight, but you could see that he was trying to do what he was being taught or what he was being coached with the leg kicks. He wasn't getting so off kicked so much anymore. He was able to switch his stances and fight from both sides. He was throwing some more jabs. His boxing was a little bit better. He wasn't just starting forward and getting tagged every time. He wasn't just standing there and getting punched. However, Kunpanoi is a lot more experienced. I think it's a 10-year gap between the two guys. Kunpanoi's fought a who's who already. Not a who's who, but he's on a good streak. I think he's on a 5-fight win streak at the moment. And he's a very cerebral kind of fighter in terms of how he fights, his style and his shots and his game plan, his composure in the fight in the ring is really good. And I think that's what carried him through. The body kicks that he threw at Tanzin the whole time occupied Tanzin. And I think once we got to round 2 and 3, Tanzin was on the back foot the whole time, and he's realized, okay, I'm backing up. He backed up too much for me in that fight. And only towards the last embers of the third round, he decided to actually get on his bike again, but that point was a little too late. I'm gonna say this now. I think one championship should consider to give Tanzin opponents that are his age, opponents that are at his level. Because if you look at Tanzin's last 4 fights now, including the one with Kunpanoi, all of those fighters that he fought were light years ahead of him. Takeru, Suryanlek was the last guy that KO'd him before this one. Gengsanlek, and now he lost to Kunpanoi. Like, these are all fighters that's got experience over him, guys. And I just feel like that's not fair to the young man. So I would love to see him fight fighters a little bit more on his in his class. But one thing that will be said, losing to those 4 fighters can only be beneficial for his career. Like, lessons will be learned now. You know what I mean? So I'm amped to see his growth. What are you saying here, Jeff? Can't wait until Senshi 29 and Collision 8. Senshi 29, that's another promotion, right? That's another fight card. Just remind me here, and Collision 8 as well. That's another fight promotion, right? Jeff, please help me with that one. I don't think I've ever watched the Senshi and a Collision 8 or Collision fight card before. It's a bit difficult for me to sort of get access to them. But I'll keep looking. When are these fight cards taking place? Senshi 29 and Collision 8. You know which date? I'll keep a lookout for that. Let's keep it moving. Otis Wagon. He took on Rado Papa. Rado Papa came into this fight. Papa came into this fight undefeated, but still young. I think he's 21 years old or something like that. Featherweight Muay Thai. Very, very primarily a boxing heavy fighter. Doesn't really kick much. Just wants to get in there and stand and bang and put heavy hands on you. But Otis Wagon was like almost twice his size and just beat him up in every moment of that first round. Legion 8 on December 13th. Oh, it's Glory. Okay, no, Glory I can watch. That's fine. That's not difficult to watch. I'll keep a lookout for that. December 13th. Okay, cool. Cool. I'll keep a lookout. In fact, here at Fighting with Friends, we primarily only covered one championship in UFC, but we are moving into the new year with actually covering as many of the kickboxing and Muay Thai fight cards as possible. So like your Rise and Rise, K1 Glory, Knockout. We're going to try and cover as much of that as possible as well. Because I see there's a lot of good banter going around globally about these fight cards, guys. So yeah, much thanks to that. Senshi 28, December 6th in Bulgaria. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch that. I'm actually going away that day, that weekend. I'm gonna miss one Fight Night 38 as well, which is sucky. But I'll get them all when I come back. Just rewatch it so I can do the recap like this one. Yeah, but Otis Wagon, dude, scary motherfucker. Elbowed Rado, fought him hard early in the round, rocked him, devastating. They started piecing him up from there. The big knees to the body, the big elbows, just unloaded basically a video game combination on him, a Tekken 8 combination on him, and just ended the whole fight right there in the first round. Again, mismatch in my opinion. I don't think Radu was ever gonna beat Otis, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, great win, great bonus, and Otis is again another fighter that can be a good problem for the featherweight division. I'm to see him in the featherweight division, to be honest with you. I mean, imagine Otis Wagon versus Carrillo. Ooh, banger. Look, Otis is gonna have to do a lot more though. He's gonna have to go on a bit of a win streak before he can get to that top 5. But he's a great fighter, talented young man. Let's see what he does going forward. Mai Sung Eun and Soon Wang U. Not much to say on this one. I think Mai Sung Eun, he was exposed in this fight, in my opinion. I thought that Soon Wang U was able to crack him in every round, threw a lot more weapons in terms of including the kicks. Mai Sung Eun barely kicked in this fight, which I thought was a bit weird. But yeah, that's how he fights. He's aggressive, sharp, fast boxing. But pardon me, Soon Wang U was faster, cleaner, and controlled the fight every single round. I thought he fought he fought fabulously. He was able to deal with the pressure, and he actually, if it wasn't for my son Earn's durability and his like heart to fight, felt like he would have been. It was versus anybody else, he would have been KO'd because there was lots of moments in every round where Sung Nang U cracked him, and he was rocked, bro. Like my son Earn was he was basically out on his feet, but for some reason the dude's so tough, and he just stood in there the whole time and fought his way through it. And I just thought, yo, well done. Like, but I would have, I don't know. I'm not. I would have. I'm surprised that he would have able to withstood all of that, because it was damaging shots that he was taking the whole time. But well done, team. Big ups to Myanmar for Sun Wang U. I'll keep an eye on Sun Wang U. Not a bad fighter. This fight, I'm not gonna spend time on this one because it's disheartening to me. This was the one fight. Oh no, I lied. This our parlay actually still hit in this fight. God, we actually made a big bank on this one. Even though this fight ended in a no contest, Walid Snussi took on Jirai Ishii, which is probably one of my favorite fighters to watch in one championship right now, Jirai Ishii. And I'm telling you guys now, he was getting warmed up in this fight. He was really starting to piece up Walid. But Walid, multiple times in this fight, eye poke, and the last eye poke that he landed on Jirai Ishii at the end of the round actually closed the eye of Jirai Ishii. He couldn't open up his right eye, and that led to the doctor stoppage, which then resulted in a no contest. Couldn't continue. Sucky ass performance, but I feel like the fight had to continue. I think Jirai Ishii would have finished him. Rotan, what are you asking here? No contest. Yeah, it's a no contest. Yeah, which I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel, chat. I don't know how you feel about this. What is the correct thing to do when a fight when there's an unintentional foul, right? Because this year in 2025, there's been so many fights ended because of cup shots and eye pokes, and it's becoming a bit of a problem in my opinion. So what do? I personally feel like a DQ is better than a no contest because then it's like you've basically forcing the fighters to not do stuff like this. Because if you guys go watch the fight back, right, Walid extended his fingers. It wasn't like he was carrying or pushing off or measuring. No, my guy was full fingers going into his eyes, and I was like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Well, same thing with Tom Aspinall. Exactly the same thing. I personally feel like if you're gonna keep saying unintentional foul, at what stage is it an intentional foul, right? Because you can actually hide it. If you guys can remember DC versus Stipe Miocic #2, when he flicked the fingers into the eye. Did you guys remember that from a jab? He jabbed, flicked the fingers into the eye of Stipe Miocic. That's intentional, right? But you can also hide it. And fighters are constantly warned in a fight, watch your fingers, extend your palms. If you want to measure, you don't have to measure with eye poking. You can measure by putting your palm out. Let your fingers go south to north. You know what I mean? Don't extend it like that. You might as well just throw a punch then. Just throw a jab then. You know what I mean? So, and I get that when you're backing up and the fighter throws a couple of punches at you, you're gonna try and parry. Your hand might extend and you're gonna try and parry something, right? And fighters need to learn that they mustn't do that. And if you're gonna do that, you're gonna stand the risk of eye poking somebody. So, in my opinion, to mitigate that, be a little bit more stern with the fighters. And I would say you don't have to do. Because I know that if you DQ somebody, you get docked from your purse, right? Maybe don't dock from their purse, but DQ it. So then what happens is you actually fucking lost. Let that be a lesson. Because a no contest means nobody wins. Both of you guys lose. No contest is like, oh, okay, we go. But if the person that did the foul, the fighter that caused the foul, if they get a DQ, it's gonna be like, oh, I fucking lost. Yes, because you fouled. Even if you didn't try to do it, you did do it. So something has to happen. So in my opinion, DQ, bruh. DQ, let the lesson be learned. Fighters will eventually learn their lesson and they will stop doing it. They will start to become a bit more conscious about it. Because we always have this arguments of, thanks, Powhatan, for saying DQ 100%. We always hear the argument of, it's unintentional. I wasn't thinking these things happen in a fight. You drill this for 100 times. You're gonna do that. You're gonna do that. Fucking settle gun. Eye pokes a million times now. No, I know. So I also trained. I also fought for when I was much younger. That if you drill the combination the whole time, that's gonna be a natural movement in your body. I fucking get it. But you can also be conscious about what you're doing. You can think about it. You can attempt to think about what you're doing. You have to do that. Otherwise, you're always gonna unintentionally eye poke somebody every time you want to measure to throw a body kick. So yeah, I just think that DQ would be a good idea, and a soft DQ, not a DQ and a deduction of your purse, just a DQ. You lost the fight. You still get your fight purse, but you lost the fight. It counts as a loss on your record, which fighters want to protect, right? They want to be perfect. Well, then don't DQ somebody. Let's keep it moving, boys. Juan Carlos Pereira fought against Oliver Axelsen from Sweden. This was lightweight MMA. Fight ended in the first round. Oliver Axelsen just absolutely bullied Juan Carlos. And I thought that when I said in the preview, there was a moment where Axelsen can actually get him. It's the early rounds, because Juan Carlos takes a very long time to get going. In fact, go watch a lot of his fights. He normally always loses the first round, and then he gets going in the second and third round. But Axelsen was like, nope. Went right at him early. Couple of punches, took him down. Realized he was a lot stronger. Fucking suplexed him, dropped him on his bums, down and pounded him. Got mount in like seconds. He got mount, jumped into an arm triangle position. Didn't even step over to complete it. Just stayed in half guard and choked him out with the arm triangle. Just shows you that he was so much more powerful than Juan Carlos. Great win. I'm a fan. I like Axelsen. He's now, I think, 3-0 in one championship, if I'm not mistaken. He's 2-0, one decision, one finish. I want to see a bit more of him fight. If he continues to fight in one championship, he is in a division that's beginning to become quite big, considering that lightweight division now has, obviously, you got Christian Lee, you got Alex Begrozulov, you've got the two Rotolo twins that are there now, the Rotolo brothers that are there now, they're in the division. I think that with patience, we might get a very amazing competitive lightweight division in one championship. Let's go, boys. Last one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. Adal Nabil lost to Norika Ryu. I feel like Adal basically gave up the fight. She basically walked into Norika Ryu's game plan by shooting for a takedown. It's like, why the hell would you shoot for a takedown against someone that you know you can't grapple against? You know what the game plan is. You know that you can't grapple on her level. Stay outstriking. You are taller. She goes for a takedown, gets reversed, gets into a triangle, transitions to an armbar, belly down, verbal tap, fight over. Norika Ryu gets the dub and gets a bonus. Well done. Good performance. But yeah, chat. That is my recap of One Fighter Fights 132. Big congratulations goes out to Abdallah Ondash for getting the $100,000 contract. Watch the space, guys. Future flyweight Muay Thai champion right there. Let's go. Or was that bantamweight? Flyweight. Let's go. Okay, chat. I'm going to conclude the stream here now. But before I do so, thank you for everyone that has tuned in. Much love to everybody. Like, share, subscribe the content. We are popping off here. It's a big fight week for Fighting with Friends and also all combat sports fans. So what you can expect? Tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 p.m. South African time, which will be 2 p.m. US time, if I'm not mistaken. We will be putting out the live notification for you guys, literally early hours of our morning in South Africa, so you'll see it when you guys wake up. Get involved. We're going to be going live. We will be putting the link to our stream in our chat, so you guys can literally come onto the stream with us. We want to do a nice breakdown and preview of the fight card, because I think it's a big fight card. And you guys have got fantastic opinions about it as well, so that's what we want to do there. Then Wednesday, we're going to be doing a preview of UFC 322, which is not going to be live. It's just going to be an offline video. And obviously, Thursday is the preview of One Friday Fights 133. We will be live on Friday for 133, One Friday Fights. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys there. Then obviously on the weekend, we'll be doing a live stream for One Championships 173. But I'll start the live stream a little bit earlier than it's going to start, because I'm going to be obviously watching the UFC as well. So we'll chat about that. But we'll start it nice and early, get the banter going with the boys. But yeah, love for the live, everybody. Appreciate everyone that has tuned in. Hope to see you guys on the next one. But have a good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. Have a very good week ahead. from myself and the Fighting with Friends team, have yourself a good one, and we will definitely catch you. What you saying here, Owetan? Sorry, what are you saying, bro? UFC 322 plus 173 stream, two cards in one. That's exactly what we're gonna be doing, yeah. Because of the time. They overlap each other. UFC and one it's actually gonna be on at the same time. So UFC main card will come to the middle of the main card when 173 actually starts. So yeah, we're gonna do both. We're gonna do both on one stream. So yeah, love for the love, guys. You are awesome. And yeah, we'll definitely catch you guys tomorrow live again, same time, same place. Have a very, very good evening. I'm definitely gonna conclude it now. I'm getting hungry and I need to go and eat. Love people, love, love, love. Have a good one. Cheers. Where's my thank you card?